Welcome to this explainer. I want you to imagine something for a second. You're walking completely alone at night. The streets are dead quiet. The air is totally still. And then you hear footsteps right behind you.
So before you even turn around to check, what happens? And more importantly, why does fear suddenly completely take over? I mean, think about it. Why is your body rapidly preparing for this intense encounter before you even consciously know if you're actually in danger?
Your heart starts pounding, you're breathing faster, your muscles are tightening up, your senses are razor sharp. Literally nothing has happened yet, right? But your entire system is suddenly on high alert. You see, fear wasn't created to just make you miserable or give you anxiety. No, these intense, visceral, physical reactions, they were built for one reason, and one reason only, to keep you alive.
This brings us to humanity's ancient survival tool, and we really need to rewind the clock about 100,000 years to understand this.
Let's put this massive scale of history into perspective. 100,000 years ago, you couldn't just call for help. There were no hospitals, no police. Early humans were facing incredibly real, daily dangers. We're talking predators actively hunting them, poisonous animals hiding in the brush, sudden deadly storms. In that brutal environment, you literally had fractions of a second to react. Make one single error and, well, that was it. Game over. So over generations, only the people who reacted lightning fast to sudden threats survived long enough to pass on their genes. And fast forward to the present day, that exact same ancient survival system is still running inside every single one of us.
Here's a core truth about our history. Evolution favored cautious brains. Your ancestors didn't survive because they were these fearless warriors who never flinched. Actually, scratch that, it's the exact opposite. They survived because they were terrified of the right things at the exact right times. Fear was literally humanity's ultimate survival advantage.
Let's dive into the microscopic biology behind this. We're looking at the amygdala alarm system, where the absolute golden rule is speed over perfection.
Deep inside your brain, there's this tiny little structure called the amygdala. You can think of it as your body's built-in ancient alarm system. Its whole job, literally its entire purpose, is to constantly scan everything around you for anomalies. A sudden loud noise, a weird shadow, an angry look on someone's face. And it's so incredibly efficient that it can trigger a full-blown fear response before you're even consciously aware you saw or heard anything at all.
The moment your amygdala spots something off, it sets off this brilliant, split-second biological chain reaction inside you. First, it scans for that anomaly, right? Then, bam, it instantly triggers a rapid fear response. It floods your body with adrenaline, and blood violently rushes straight to your muscles, prepping them for explosive action. All of this happens in mere fractions of a second.
The motto for this ancient system is incredibly simple. React first, analyze later. Why? Because out there in the ancient world, waiting around for certainty was a death sentence. If you paused to carefully analyze if that rustling in the bushes was just the wind, or, a hungry saber-toothed tiger, by the time you figured it out, you were lunch. Speed was absolutely everything.
So, how does this internal alarm physically show up? That brings us to our 3 survival reactions: fight, flight, and freeze.
Now, most of us know the classic fight or flight response, right? You either fight back and defend yourself, or you take flight and just bolt to avoid the conflict entirely. But there's a third, incredibly vital reaction that people forget: freeze. Just becoming completely silent, totally unable to respond. Imagine an ancient ancestor spotting a predator. Sometimes just standing perfectly still made the predator lose interest and walk away. So even today, if you ever just freeze up during a stressful confrontation, remember, that's not a character flaw. It's just a deeply embedded ancient survival program taking the wheel.
Which brings us crashing right back into our lives today. Let's talk about the modern fear mismatch. This is what happens when our environments completely change, but our brains don't.
This comparison really gets to the heart of the issue. Think about the ancient dangers your brain was actually wired for: physical threats, predators, real life or death situations. Now compare that to what stresses us out today: job interviews, public speaking, financial uncertainty, or just an unanswered email from your boss. Now your logical brain knows an unanswered email isn't going to kill you, but your ancient survival brain, it genuinely can't tell the difference. The exact same alarm system that protected us from wolf packs is now falsely activating over a calendar invite. Our environment changed rapidly, but the hardware, well, it just didn't.
So what are we supposed to do about this evolutionary mismatch? Well, let's look at making fear your ally by digging into neuroplasticity and the true meaning of courage.
A lot of people think having courage means you have absolutely no fear. But ignoring fear is dangerous, and just blindly listening to it is equally bad.
True courage is acting wisely despite the fear. And the biological secret to that is neuroplasticity. This is your brain's remarkable ability to literally learn from experience and update its expectations after you survive a challenge safely. Every single time you face a modern stressor and you don't die, your brain gathers that critical evidence.
Because the ultimate reality is this: the more safely you face your fears, the less power they have over you. By repeatedly facing manageable fears, like finally speaking up in that meeting or sending that difficult text message, your nervous system slowly updates. You are literally teaching your physical brain what it no longer needs to be afraid of. You're building real biological confidence.
So here's a totally actionable, science-based procedure you can use the next time modern anxiety hits. Step 1. When fear pops up, force yourself to pause. Just stop. Step 2. Take a really slow, deep breath. Step 3. Give your logical brain a second to catch up with that lightning-fast amygdala. By doing this, you hit Step 4. You can respond intentionally instead of just reacting automatically on pure instinct. By simply pausing, you transform fear from a restrictive prison into incredibly useful information.
So the next time your heart starts randomly pounding out of your chest over some modern stressor, I want you to genuinely stop and ask yourself, is this a real threat? Or is this just my ancient survival system reacting to uncertainty? Seriously, just acknowledging the biological reality of this mismatch can immediately help diffuse the panic.
Because fear isn't proof that you should stop doing what you're doing. It's just proof that your brain is doing the exact job evolution gave it. So I want to leave you with this final provocative thought. Next time you're scared, don't ask, why am I so afraid? Ask, what is my ancient brain trying to protect me from? When you fundamentally understand that, fear stops controlling you, and you can actually start using it as one of your greatest tools for growth. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep exploring the fascinating mechanics of your own mind.